Hey, I'm going to guide you on how to complete Ansbach's Questline, the full complete guide, so that way he's going to appear as a summon for the endgame bosses. You'll first meet him here early in-game at this site of grace near Moore, another NPC. His new location will be at the Shadow Keep on the storehouse first floor. So when you reach this site of grace near this big statue, just head on around the back is where you'll find Ansbach, and he's researching on some books. So every time you reach Ansbach here, you just need to make sure that you exhaust all of his dialogue. In Shadow Keep where we are now, you're going to have to run between two NPCs. Ansbach right here now, we're talking to him, exhaust all his dialogue, and there's another NPC which is Freyja. So first of all, speak to Ansbach, and now we're going to go make our way to Freyja. But there's an item we might as well pick up first. It's just along the way here, which is a quest item for Ansbach. Okay, from this new site of grace, we're going to head on our way to Freyja on the 7th floor, but there is a quest item we need to pick up along the way. Okay, so now that we've collected this quest item, we need to make our way to the 7th floor in the Shadow Keep to Freyja. And this quest item is an important role to progress the quest, but you need to do certain things in a certain order regarding the item we just collected. So make sure you just follow what's in the guide here, and that way you're going to have a powerful ally to summon in the endgame bosses. That's right, bosses with an S, and you'll be able to have Ansbach there at your side. That's if you're going against Leda. So this guide is helping Ansbach, and there are spoilers being a guide. I'll try and limit them. I won't be showing any bosses though. So just stick around to the end, and this is how you're going to get Ansbach. It's a follower, a summon that you'll be able to get for the endgame bosses. So here we are on the 7th floor now, and Freyja's here near the fireplace examining the tablet here. So just speak to Freyja. Every time you go back and forth between Freyja and Ansbach, always exhaust their dialogue. Even when they finish talking, talk to them again, and when they start repeating themselves, that's when you can move on. So we spoke to Freyja, and now we're going back to Ansbach. He's still in his location here. So speak to Ansbach, and what you want to do is tell him what Freyja said first in the option that's coming up. You'll have two options. So tell him about Freyja's decision, exhaust his dialogue, and once you've done all that, then you can hand over the quest item we picked up before, the secret Rite Scroll.
Freyja by the gods.
Now exhaust his dialogue and hand over the scroll this time, and what you may need to do is refresh the area, come back to Ansbach, exhaust his dialogue again, and he's going to ask you to go deliver something to Freyja.
Freyja, thanks to you, she too will have the answer she requires. Freyja possesses a youth I no longer have. This knowledge will surely stoke the flames of valor within her. Yes, I can see her barreling into the fray right now.
Okay, head back to Freyja with the letter from Ansbach and exhaust all of her dialogue. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to get these two NPCs to move on, to disappear from their spots in Shadow Keep.
From Sir Ansbach to me.
Under those conditions, you'll be rewarded the Golden Lion Shield from Freyja. What we need to do now is go back to Ansbach and deliver Freyja's message if you exhausted all of Freyja's dialogue. But before we do that, let's head back down to Leda, because you may need to have progressed her quest a bit further as well. So earlier in the game, when you first found her here, she was talking about Hornsent. Now later on she's made a decision regarding Hornsent, which is another NPC which would have been standing in the same side of grace with her. So I chose Hornsent as an enemy, and now she's decided on taking him out. But first of all, go back to Ansbach and deliver Freyja's message from before, and that's going to progress his quest line as well. So exhaust all his dialogue. So pass on Freyja's message to continue on.
I should have expected as much from Freyja.
So we delivered Freyja's message to Ansbach. Let's go back to the 7th floor and we'll make sure that Freyja has moved on. She's no longer there, she's moved on, that's a good thing. Alright, back down to where Ansbach is, and you'll notice that he's gone as well. So that's it, their quests have progressed further. Back with the situation between Leda and Hornsent, you'll see 2 summon signs at the top of Shadow Keep where all the burning boats are. Now this guide is wanting Ansbach as a summon for the endgame bosses. So we're going to choose Hornsent summon sign to help Ansbach's quest. If you had already selected the red summon sign by mistake and you go back to Leda, she'll mention that she'll now target Ansbach. And in Ansbach's old spot on the lower floor of Shadow Keep, you'll find 2 summon signs, so you can still side with Ansbach again if you choose the gold summon sign. Now back to the 7th floor, we're going to head to the boss room for Shadow Keep to progress the quest, and I'll show you where the summon sign is for Hornsent. So under those conditions so far, I'll show you the location for the summon sign for Hornsent in the Messmer boss fight in Shadow Keep. It's just right here, it's in the battlefield instead of outside in the fog gate where it normally are.
Oh, my beloved people! Accursed Messmer, my clan's suffering, their pain.
So now that Freyja and Hornsent have moved on and disappeared from their spots, if we go back to where Leda was, you'll see there's a letter she's left behind, and this is optional, but basically she's moved on as well. So that's a good sign for all things. We can now progress further for the quest lines. So in the first endgame bosses, you're now going to have the summon sign for Thiollier, which is another quest guide I'll link in the description. But here we go, we got Ansbach now available. And also in the last boss fight outside the fog gate, you're also going to have Thiollier again, but we also got the powerful Thiollier out of the 2 NPCs. Good luck, thanks for watching.